Hi friends, Matt Metzger here with ABI Attachments. Welcome back to another episode of ABI Dirt. This is one of our last episodes in the mini-series that we've been going through on the difference between a TR3 and a TR3 E-Series. And I'm excited because we've saved some of the best for last. Today, we're taking a look at the profile blade. Now, before we see it on the tool, I want to give you a snapshot, kind of a bigger picture of why this hunk of metal is so important. And it comes down to how you look at soil preparation. For so many years, people have looked at the soil and looked at soil prep, and they've started with what they can see. And the profile blade actually asks us to take a step back and get under the soil and start with what we can't see. So as we talk about the profile blade, we're going to be talking about soil preparation from the ground up, not just working at vertical agitation components, leveling components, what we've talked about in the past couple episodes, but actually having a component on your soil prep tool that allows you to get under the surface and clean or renovate from the ground up. So let's take a closer look. All right, so back out in our shop today, and you can tell that things are gonna be a little bit different today because I'm missing my TR3. I'm only got the TR3 E-Series with me today. And the reason is that we're talking about two components that are unique to the TR3 E-Series, specifically the Equine Edition of the TR3 E-Series. So we're talking today the grooming rods and the profile blade that are native to the Equine Edition of the TR3 E-Series. Those options are not available on the TR3. So as our last segment here of comparing the TR3 to the TR3 E-Series, we're focusing on these two unique components. The one caveat I'll get you, the TR3, you can get something called a profiler attachment for the back of it. So if you are interested in grooming, maintaining, installing equine arenas, and you have a more commercial setup, take a look at the TR3, take a look at that profiler. That's invaluable, and it's got some unique features there. But for today, we're talking about these two unique features to the E-Series. Normally I like to start from the front of the tool and work my way back, but we're gonna start today with these grooming rods on the TR3 E-Series Equine Edition. Now I keep saying Equine Edition because I want to make it really clear that it is the Equine Edition and the Trevor Brazil Edition that have the grooming rods. Some of you who have a TR3 E-Series Property Edition are taking a look at this going, wait a second, I don't have those things. You don't. For the Property Edition E-Series, we have designed that specifically for kind of base entry-level property work, a lot of gravel driveways, some dirt work around your property. You don't need the grooming rods. What you need are those scar fires that come standard on those TR3 E-Series. We've got a whole other episode dedicated to those scar fires. Check that out and why those are so crucial. This is specifically about the grooming rods that are designed for equine purpose. So why are they designed that way? Let's take a look. We've got 1-inch diameter rods here. You can see you've got plenty of length, plenty of travel, 3 different holes in the rod itself, plus 3 different holes in the pocket. Allows you to drop these way down so you can get max amount of life. We're not trying to break the bank on wear parts here. We want you to get maximum life out of these grooming rods. On a 7-foot wide unit, you've got 12 different grooming rods. It scales right for the 6-foot and the 8-foot sizes. This is your primary vertical agitation component in a grooming scenario. Remember, we talk about the difference between grooming and renovation. If you have an outdoor arena that you haven't touched in months or years, you're definitely going to want to use those scar fires. You're going to need a more aggressive rip. However, if you've gotten into a good habit, a good routine, you're out there grooming your arena 3 times a week minimum, you probably don't need aggressive ripping each time. You just need some vertical agitation, and that's where these grooming rods come in. And remember, vertical agitation is all about aeration. Last episode of ABI Dirt, we talked about the finish rake and how the finish rake is used to press the air out of your soil so you can control the density. Grooming rods give you the opposite control. Grooming rods give you the ability to add air and fluff up whatever surface you're working with. So if you are in your arena and you're trying to train for whatever discipline you're training for, and you just feels like things are too dense and too harsh, you've got, on a 7-foot wide, 12 points of contact, vertical agitation, stir things up and gets air into your footing, giving you more cushion. Now let's talk about the profile blade technology on the front of this TR3 E-Series. Now remember, this comes standard on your Equine Edition and Trevor Brazil Edition. If you've got a Property Edition TR3 E-Series, this comes as an option and could provide you some benefit in the gravel drive scenario to really loosen up the gravel. But this is the primary benefit for this technology is in an equine arena. Now, if you've been around ABI attachments for a while, you know that we came up with this patented design years and years ago. It's on a lot of different ABI products, ABI equine drags that we've got. This is unique to ABI attachments because we look at things under the surface, right? The classic line on this is that this takes care of dangers and compaction that you can't see, but your horse can feel. If you spend any amount of time on the back of a horse, you know that when a horse gets into a situation that it doesn't feel safe or comfortable, it will not react with as much predictability. It will not perform to its peak abilities because it feels something that you can't see. The profile blade takes care of that. You can see that this 3/8-inch thick, 4-inch deep piece of steel runs through the ground, parallel to the ground at a controlled depth. You can see all the different hole positions we've got here, so you can control the depth, how deep it goes. Remember, that goes back to your stabilizing wheels that we talked about a few episodes ago. If you've got a professionally installed base in your arena, you can set this profile blade up so that it is riding right above the base. That means you can keep that professionally installed base that you spent so much good money on, you can keep it nice and clean, and it's not going to get damaged. If you don't have a professionally installed base, no problem. This adds even more advantage because now you can set this at a certain depth. All of your vertical agitation components, your scarifiers and your grooming rods, are mixing things up above the profile blade, and this is putting pressure on all of your subsoil under the profile blade. That means the more often you use it in a non-installed base scenario, you're actually firming up the surface under your footing to give you kind of a pseudo base scenario. The more frequently you use it, the more pressure, and now you've got two separate surfaces that you're working with in your arena. As I mentioned, this profile blade technology is used on a lot of our equine drags here at ABI Attachments. I referenced that profiler attachment that's available on the TR3. In that scenario, that concave profile blade and floating finish rake are behind the TR3. You can see here in the E-Series, we've got this profile blade up front. That means the first thing that cuts through your arena is this profile blade riding right across the top of your base, cleaning everything up, and after that, you're leveling and then aerating. This can't be understated when it comes to high quality footing and amazing riding experience. Remember, just because you can't see the undulation and just because you can't see the compaction doesn't mean it's not there. Give yourself the best experience, give your horse the utmost safety by having a profile blade, cleaning up your base, and making all of your footing loose and consistent. That's all we've got for today, everyone. Hope you found the information beneficial and helpful. Remember, hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends if you want more information about the TR3 and TR3 E-Series. Keep in touch. Until next time, take care.